Hi, I'm Azra.
And hi, I'm Theandra.
And you're listening to the A&T Friendship Diaries. What's up, y'all? And welcome to another Friday episode where we are reviewing the originals. Yeah, okay.
I love them.
I do too. We watched episode 4, Girl in New Orleans, episode 5, Sinners and Saints, and episode 6, Fruit of the Poison Tree. Episode 1. What did you think?
Episode 4?
Oh, shoot. Episode 4. Yeah.
She was so close to. She did a little dance.
Because it feels like the first episode because we watched 3 at a time. That's my bad. Yes, I'm so sorry. Episode 4, Girl in New Orleans. You was weak. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Episode 4, Girl in New Orleans. What did you think of the episode?
I love the episode. So I had put in there, I liked how Klaus was trying to calm Cammy. Now, some of the tactics that Klaus uses with Cammy, some people might not agree with, but I actually think I understand what Klaus is trying to do.
Okay, so what she's referring to, context is important. Klaus is trying to calm Cammy because Cammy is still very bothered by her brother Sean killing her twin brother Sean, killing 9 priests and then
himself.
Then himself, yes. So you're saying that you liked Klaus calming Cammy down?
I do. I do like him calming her down. I think what Klaus is trying to do is everyone has this, well, not everyone, but Klaus has this notion that Cammy is pure. She is, in a sense, not a bad person. And I feel like he tries to calm her and try to make her, in his mind, he thinks he's helping her, not understanding the human dynamic. As a matter of fact, he's been a vampire so long, he don't even know. He just knows what hurtful memories do to him. So in his mind, he's trying to save her from it, but it actually makes it worse because she's like, I need those feelings. That's what drives me. And I think he was trying to pretty much keep her, quote unquote, hands clean. Because I can live with the burden, but I don't want you to live with the burden. And he also needed her to focus on what he needed to do.
Absolutely not. I think Klaus does what he always does. He's a control freak. And so therefore he's trying to control Cammy in every aspect. I feel like how dare him compel her to forget memories or to forget something, not even to forget, but just not to be anxious anymore about what happened to her brother. Like, those are her feelings. She can own her own feelings. For him to come and compel her to be calm basically about the situation and to forget the pain, I think is rude. He don't like nobody telling him what to do, but yet and still his ass always trying to compel people and tell people what to do and how they should feel.
That is correct.
Absolutely not.
Did not correct. Like he does do that.
Didn't appreciate it.
But I mean,
no,
I didn't care.
I see.
I didn't care. No. I didn't care. I don't think he did it to be mean. Now, if it was malicious, like, oh, I'm good, because I've seen him do malicious things.
We have.
So I don't think his intentions was malicious, but I think it's his flawed thinking.
His intentions weren't malicious.
And she told him, like, when he realized, I think when she actually broke it down to him, like, it's a reason why I like to feel those things. Like, it's my feelings. It's when she actually broke it down to him, I think he understood it in a way.
But yet and still, he still went forward with what he wanted for her. Yeah, I agree with you. I do not.
But he does that with all his siblings. He does what he wants for them because he thinks it's in their best interest.
I didn't like that. I didn't like him doing it for Cammy. You can do whatever you want with Elijah and Rebecca and the rest of them. That's your family. With Cammy, absolutely not. Leave that lady alone.
Yeah, but like you said, he ruins everybody he touches. He knows that.
Well, he should stop touching people.
He can't help it. She's a means to an end.
No, I thought
it's his nature.
I thought it was real. What's the word I'm looking for? I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate basically him in a way telling her how she should feel. Because nobody likes that. Nobody likes to be told what they should feel about a situation. So yes, that was probably my least favorite part of that episode is his interaction with Cammy in regards to her twin brother and how she should feel about it.
Right, but he actually likes her.
I mean, I
But
understand that he likes
so I'm
her,
like,
but
okay, because
okay, and I do.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I understand him, so I understand his thinking, so I understand why he thought it was okay. Not saying it was right. It was right, but I understand it. The fact that he cared about her is the fact that he even tried to help her. Because if he didn't, if anything, he would have. If he didn't care, he would have used the information to torture her with it. But he didn't. So it's just he has a weird sense of when he likes somebody. Like if you just have to.
I mean, I
Yeah,
do. I
yeah,
understand that, but again, I still, for me, it was like I said, it's
I didn't expect
there
any
are,
less. Like I knew.
I mean,
Yeah.
correct.
But
There are a few Klaus moments that are in my like top 5 that I don't like,
that's one
and
of
what he does to Cammy is definitely one of them.
yeah.
So yeah,
And then I put in there, I like the whole vampire, arguments. Like it's like, you argue, you make me mad, I break your neck. When you wake up, hey, when you wake up, tell him, the reason why his neck got broke because he don't step to me like I love that aspect of
Marcel when he breaks what's the
it.
guy's
One of
name?
his daywalkers
When he
neck.
breaks his neck.
Yeah, because he confronting him. He was like, "What you gonna do? Put me in the guard?" He was insubordinate. Now, usually when you insubordinate, if you're on your job, you get rolled up, you get fired. But no, Marcel just broke his neck. I'm like, could you imagine? Being there, you go to, hey boss, look, I need a raise, and because I've been doing the work, and they're like, no, you're not getting a raise. You just break their neck. Like, oh yeah, when my boss wake up, let them know.
I'll take my raise.
Yeah, I'll take my raise.
Yeah.
I just thought it was hilarious that how their whole dynamic of argument, like when him and Klaus, he was talking cash money to Klaus, and Klaus jump smacked him from the balcony,
which was the best jump smack ever. I think with Marcel though, it's just like the last time we discussed him when he breaks Buddy's neck in the bar. I think it's just another one of those times where I see Marcel trying to portray himself as something that he's really not. You know what I'm saying?
He's
like
really not.
He seems very insecure. I don't know why this go around of watching the originals. I am not feeling Marcel.
Yeah,
but again,
feel him, y'all.
I did used to feel him. Yes, there are times before that I've watched the seasons and was a Marcel fan, but for whatever reason, this go around, I don't like him. So yeah, I thought it was just another action to show that he's the big dog when he really is afraid of losing it. And if you're at the top and your constant fear, I mean, it seems to be his constant worry is losing or falling from being on the top. Are you really on top?
I mean, he probably didn't feel like that, but when when Big Daddy Klaus Michelson step on the scene, I mean, you ain't got no choice but to feel you about to lose what you got because it's Nick Klaus. It's the hybrid. It's that.
So he's panicking. He's working.
Exactly.
Okay.
He know who he is.
You know what though? For somebody who knows who Klaus is, I feel like all of this could have been resolved if and we're going to get into it, of course, in later episodes, but when Klaus, Elijah, and Rebecca leave New Orleans, I don't care. He should have been with them. I don't know how all of the separation, they don't be together. I don't know how any of that happens. Maybe they tell us in later episodes. I can't remember right now because it's been a long time since we watched the originals. But family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are.
Right.
And he treats Klaus like Klaus is not family. Like Klaus was not at one point basically like his dad.
Like Klaus didn't save him from a life of slavery.
You were a slave, sir. Or a little baby boy, because he was a little baby boy when he was a slave. Yes. And Klaus saved you.
Yes, he did. And raised you.
And now you want
and the fact that he made it to adulthood to be changed, because that is a testament in itself.
Correct.
You
know who Klaus,
slave. Right. If you know who Klaus was, I'm pretty sure there was some things along his human way of life that Klaus probably was like, I can't even believe why I'm putting up. But he lived to adulthood. And not only did he live to adulthood, he lived long enough for Klaus to turn him.
Yeah.
And I think it's that relationship. Like, because there's so much, see, there's so many spinoffs that can be had. That's why I was never done with the originals, because I would have loved to seen Klaus raising Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to seen that era
Right.
of Klaus. Like, how did he deal with him, like school, or like him, just in general, like how was he as a surrogate father
Right.
to him.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. I think he's just reached that vampire. He's a teenage vampire.
Marcel is.
Yes, in Vampire, yes, he's a teenage vampire.
Yeah, he just happens to be hundreds of years old, but he very much so acts like a adolescent.
Yes.
He throws temper tantrums. I don't know, and it's just aggravating me this time going around. I need him I know he's not. I was gonna say I need him to realize who Klaus is, and he does, but it still don't change his actions. So never mind.
It don't. But I think that just screams to the nature at what they are. Like, you have to understand their nature, and then once you understand their nature, it's like, oh, okay. It's kind of like we buy a pet lion. He's cute when he's a little cubby wubby, but when my boy get big,
right.
You come home one day from work and you thought you had a bad day. But Mufasa,
it's about to get worse.
Right. Mufasa is on a whole nother trip. Like X, Sigmund, and Roy. Like, well, didn't they have their targets for years? And that tiger almost took his life. He was like, no, please don't kill him. Because and everybody's like, I can't believe it. At the end of the day,
it was a tiger.
It was a tiger. And at the end of the day, he knew any moment, like anytime you're you're in their presence, it's by grace.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the same way with vampires. It's like, hey, if you choose to be in that circle, in that world, you just know some bad stuff might happen, and that's the way it is.
The episode I'm sorry, not the episode, but part of the episode where you were talking about when they're at the old Michelson home and Klaus is standing up on the banner talking junk to Marcel, and he jumps off the banner and smacks Marcel dead in the face.
To the floor.
To the floor.
I'm sorry.
And then he proceeds to whoop his ass. I wish in that moment Marcel could have learned some type of humility, because as arrogant as I may think Klaus is, Marcel would be nothing without Klaus. He is pretty much nothing without Klaus. I feel like the time that he's been in New Orleans, we know he wasn't running the show the whole entire time.
No, but
he had just banned the witches, so all of this just happened. It had only been 8 months is the time frame. Right. So in those 8 months, your head has grown so big. Absolutely not.
But what I think also we got to realize too is that he had an inside view of Klaus that we probably have never been privy to, or people on the outside, which is the relationship with his father. Because that's the whole reason why they left New Orleans. And in his mind, he keeps saying it over and over again, you ran. You want me to run. Y'all ran. So he knows, even as a big bad as everybody think you is, Klaus, I know the one thing that will make even you, the big bad wolf, no pun intended, run out of town with your tail tucked between your legs.
And that's dirty. Because again,
it is.
You keep saying to Klaus, we're family, we're family, we're family. But why? Well, we know why Klaus and Elijah and Rebecca and them had to leave New Orleans. But again, why did they have to leave? We're not going to talk about it now. But why did they leave New Orleans? And in the answer to that why is why I think that Marcel should close his mouth.
Exactly. But it's kind of like, if I know and I think that's why he has his little chest out, because he knows a little weakness about him, and plus he's in his vampire teenage years, so the combination of them both, he really smelling himself right now.
Marcel is smelling himself.
He is smelling himself really, really, bad right now.
Yeah, and it stinks through the daggum TV.
Yeah,
when I say I'm not
with it, focused.
Yeah, he is. I am not with it. Okay, so then in episode 4, I want to know, because we learned about with Davina being with
Harvest.
Marcel, and well, we learned about the harvest in episode 5,
Oh,
but we learn about Davina. They touch on Davina being with Marcel because he's keeping her from the witches. So
right.
then my question was, what do the witches want to do with Davina? And then we learned that in episode 5, what the witches want to do with Davina.
Just for the record, after watching this for the what I don't know how many times around, but probably second, I don't like the witches.
I don't like the witches either.
It's only one witch I like, and he ain't stepped on the scene yet, and we'll talk about it. But
Right.
in general, I don't like them.
And I didn't realize that I didn't like the witches
I didn't
until
either.
we're watching it again right now.
I don't like Sophie Devereaux.
Girl.
Like I want to put my elbow in that little gap in between the front of her mouth.
I'm not liking Sophie either. She's the mastermind behind these few episodes when we start off at the beginning of the show. And the fact that she was able to hide that she was the mastermind and fool me, the watcher, I definitely don't like her.
I know, because I forgot. Like how we watch it the second time around and not remember when we first saw her on the scene.
Yeah,
she was the mastermind behind this. But when it came out, I was like, I don't like the witches.
Yeah, watching it this time around, there have been some just different scenes that have happened, and I'm just like, man, it's clicking differently, it's hitting differently this time around. So I'm definitely glad that we are watching the originals and doing this podcast, because I'm telling you, it's a little different this time. So yeah, Sophie, her sister, Agnes. I'm not none of the witches.
I don't like Agnes. She was smug. You can't do nothing to me.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that her being one of the elders.
Yes.
And the other elders lied to the girls about the harvest.
Right.
Why didn't they just say, this is what it is? But you're going to come back. Like, technically, you're not dead. You're just sleeping. Like, they said it, but they didn't explain.
No.
And the way that it played out, Davina had every right to be scared. The girls had every right to try to get away. Well,
they told them they was gonna go to sleep.
2 and 3,
and then they told them it was an honor. Then they get up there, and then she just grabbed and just
slit her throat. Like they didn't even do it nicely.
No,
they treated them like they were
animals.
Correct, like an actual sacrifice. And I get that they were a sacrifice, but these are your daughters. So you just gonna slit their throat and let them drop to the ground? Like,
all for power?
Nah, Davina should have. In that scene, I am very much glad that Marcel showed up and that Marcel rescued Davina. I don't want the witches to have any type of power.
Yeah, because I haven't watched it, I don't remember. Again, I don't even know. I'm like Davina. How I know I'm gonna wake up? Because they lied about.
Correct. The sleep part.
It
was very murderous. That's what it gave. That's what that scene was given. That scene was given homicide. Lieutenant Joe Kinder. Like, no, thank you. They could have laid them babies down. You know what I'm saying?
I know, across a little altar or something.
Gave them a pillow.
I mean, and then y'all witches. So you mean to tell me y'all couldn't put them in a slight slumber?
Right. Without slitting their throat.
Without them, like, and if you were going to slit their throat, like, it could have been done, like, peacefully.
Absolutely, sister. Peacefully.
Like, you could all the herbs y'all mugs be cooking up. Correct. In the shops and y'all ain't got nothing. They
slaughtered them like animals.
And
then when
and then their parents watched.
When Sophie's niece, I can't remember her name, but when she escapes, Agnes slits her throat from the damn back.
Oh yeah.
She
slid it from the back. Slid it from the back.
Horrible.
You're
the grown-up. These are young girls. And you slit her throat from the back.
And I'm like, Davina, look, if we were going to come back to life, why you couldn't say that? Correct. Why you couldn't say the harvest is going to require you to die?
Correct.
But once all your blood and sacrifice is going through, you will come back to life.
Yes.
They might have would have believed, and even if they, I don't know. You took their choice away.
Yeah. I did appreciate when Davina is explaining the harvest to Elijah. Elijah is appalled.
He's appalled. He's like,
you can see it in his face that from that moment on, I knew the witches didn't stand a damn chance because Elijah was not trying to you out here killing children.
Right.
Elijah was not with that. He was definitely bothered. He didn't say anything, but you can see it in his face. You can see it in his body language.
Apparently, do it every couple of 100 years because they need to reconnect back to their essence. They wanted more power,
right?
Because they needed to fight the vampires that Marcel was. It was like a mini war, but not really a war.
I think they but if the harvest happens, every 100 years or so, this wasn't even about Marcel. This is about the witches' need for power. This was about the witches' need to sacrifice these 4 girls to their ancestors so that they could also take on more of the ancestors' power.
One of them said Agnes is the only one. She was the only living elder left that could do that particular ritual, or only certain. That's why she was telling Elijah, don't kill Agnes, because she's one of the elders, and there's certain magic that we don't know about that could possibly die with her. I don't like that whole, like, only certain people get certain I mean, I get it. You can't just have everybody out here casting spells and stuff, because it can get a little crazy. That's the only thing about the witches that I don't like, is that your one spell can mess up everything.
Right. But maybe Agnes and the other elders kept certain things from the younger generations, which sounds just like human beings.
Yeah, I guess
so. Yeah, I think Agnes just knows information that only elders are probably
privileged to know.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why Sophie didn't want her killed. But too late for that.
Look, can we talk about that?
We can't talk about that. Do you want to talk about Agnes dying?
Yes, that was my favorite scene.
Like, that was my favorite scene too.
That's the Elijah I
want.
Elijah. Hello, now, at the end of the series, y'all know how it, well, if you have watched it, you know how the originals end. If you have not, you will find out as we go along. But my whole thing, I wanted to rewrite that, because that's the Elijah I want. I want that Elijah. And he still had honor because he kept his word. He's like, please, brother, don't make me break my word.
Yeah, his word was that he would not allow Klaus to kill Agnes. He never said that he himself would not kill Agnes.
And let's talk about how he snatched 2 people's hearts out their chest and didn't even really move a muscle. I didn't even see him move. Did you see Agnes' face?
Agnes was shook. Agnes was shook because not only did he snatch 2 hearts.
What magic at now, Agnes?
He stole a 3rd heart, and that baby just jumped from the ceiling. Like, he threw him up in the air and snatched his heart, and then Buddy fell to the ground.
Right, he had his heart. He was showing Agnes his heart
before he even came down from the sky.
Dude was still up in the sky.
He was still in the sky when Elijah was showing Agnes the hearts that he done collected. Agnes wasn't ready.
She wasn't. And then when it hit the ground, she was like, I was like, where your wand at now? I'm like, my idea, where your wand at now, Agnes?
Agnes had no words.
No words.
Klaus had no words either.
Oh, but the look on Klaus' face was like, see, this the Elijah.
Yeah, Klaus liked that Elijah. You like that Elijah. Klaus liked that Elijah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
To be big stomping around New Orleans. That's what I want. I want that Nick Klaus and that Elijah.
Pulling folks' hearts out.
Ripping folks' hearts out.
Before they even hit the ground.
Bruh, I'm sorry.
No, that was one of the best scenes.
It was. And the priest was calm.
That's because the priest has an understanding of what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? He's not lost. As much as he talks junk, he's not lost.
And they did all that right in front of the Jesus statue.
They did. Yeah, the priest is not lost on the capabilities.
All this happened in the church, by the way.
Yeah, Klaus and Elijah don't care nothing about that, which I can also appreciate that as well. And the priest understands the capabilities of the vampires and the witches and the wolves. You know what I'm saying? And he's not shook about it. You know what I'm saying?
Because Agnes, let's not, if y'all didn't know, Agnes cursed.
Okay,
his nephew.
Wait.
She put a hex on him. And that boy was innocent. He wasn't doing nothing. He was trying to, follow his faith in the Lord to become a priest. She don't hexed him to the point where he killed all the other aspiring priests and himself, and it tarnished their name.
So this that she's talking about is when Kieran, Father Kieran, is what they call him.
Father Kieran
was trying to get the witches to kind of chill out and relax, trying to get the vampires to chill out and relax. He said no to the
harvest, remember?
Correct. He said it's not happening. She caught an attitude and hexed his nephew, and his nephew killed a 9 priest and himself. And his nephew is Cammie's twin brother.
Yep, and it drove. I guess it messed him up. He left town for a few days, but anyway, you could imagine that distracted the priest long enough for them to go ahead
and do the harvest and kill these girls.
Yes.
Yeah. So I personally don't care nothing about Agnes. You put a hex on a child.
Yes.
That goes back to their whole harvest thing has nothing to do with future generations. It is all about them and them elders and them ancestors. They don't care about kids.
No.
That's now another kid Agnes done harm. She done cut baby girl's neck from the back. She done put
and you put a hex on a aspiring priest.
On a priest.
A young one, like 15, 16, like an altar boy.
An altar boy. Exactly. That's exactly what he looks like in the episode.
So he looks so innocent.
Yeah. And she done put a hex on him. And then Sophie saw it. Sophie saw Agnes put the hex on him and did nothing. She did nothing. She said nothing. She just looked like a deer in the headlights. So she's also known all of this time.
Yeah.
The reason why Sean killed the 9 priests and himself. She's dirty. Sophie.
Yeah. And she did it on purpose.
She was a dirty.
And she was laying with Marcel.
Correct.
And because she wanted it stopped, she the one that planted the seed in Marcel's ear,
right?
Which is how he knew where to be and where to show up. But he got there a little bit too late. But that's how he knew, because she told him.
Yeah, she told him everything about the harvest. And then remember, Father Kieran also went to Marcel on his way out the city after his nephew done slaughtered everybody to ask Marcel to stop the harvest.
Yep.
And good old Agnes couldn't let it happen. She didn't want to lose her power. Now she lost a life. Goodbye, Agnes.
But that power at Agnes, all that. Well, we know where it's at. It's in Davina, so she didn't get it.
She didn't get nothing. They didn't gain anything. Davina is still the strongest witch. Point blank.
And
she's
powerful. Yeah. One drop of her blood brought Elijah all the way back. Now that's why I like Elijah, because Elijah is honorable. He first of all, you got to understand, if vampires wake up from a sleep or slumber that long, they usually cannot control their thirst. But he was original. He was not hungry. He was thirsty. He was ravenous.
He was dehydrated.
And he was like, you know what? I'm not going to drink your blood. You a child.
Yeah. He said he would never drink from a child.
Nope. And she, which was bold. I'm like, man, she big and bold. But, she got all that power because she pricked her finger, number one. Now, him being restrained is one thing. But when you put your blood in the air, because remember, that's all he heard was her vein for a minute.
Correct.
Talking. That's all you heard.
Yes.
But she poked her finger and gave him a drop of blood. And dude just came to life.
All the color of his skin came back. He looked great. He really did. Shout out to her and all the powers, because she had no clue that he was even about to get up in the first place. And also, that's what she gets. I understand she's Davina. She's all powerful.
But she don't know.
But she has no idea who Elijah Michelson really and truly is. And she had no idea, by taking the dagger out and putting the dagger in and taking the dagger out while he was in that slumber, that he was now able to eventually get up on his own.
Because she didn't put it back in the right place. I'm pretty sure he was daggered in the heart. She took it out his chest and then just stabbed him in the stomach, or stabbed him wherever she want to. That dagger has to go in their heart.
Well,
if she didn't put it back in his heart.
It's Klaus's dagger anyway, so she had no business with it. And now Elijah's back. And I'm
Welcome
so
back,
happy.
Elijah. So glad to have you back. You look good after your vacation, boo.
Does look well
That
rested.
casket skin,
Hey,
bruh, it was
that
looking rough at first.
it was. He was a little grayish, but Davina's blood brought him back, and now he's
He
looking
needed
good to
some
go.
bisque. Get him some milk.
Yeah. So Elijah's back, and he's convinced Davina to let him go, saying he'll give her memoirs or pages from his mom's memoir book. Is that what you call it? A memoir book? Memoirs?
Yeah.
In order for
Her
her to,
spells.
yeah, her spells, because
See,
his mother was a witch.
She was a witch. Let me tell you, there's two types of witches. You got the witches that follow other people's spells, which is what he gave her, so Davina could undo that knot to break the bond between Sophie and Haley. And then you have witches who can write spells. See, that's a whole nother conundrum. Because see, it take a whole lot of power to write a spell, because you have to write it in a place where you have to give an account for all of the things that can happen on the back end. So as you create the spell, you got to create it to where the backlash won't be as bad, because it's yin and yang. It's up and down, in and out, light and dark. So every action is a reaction. Right. So anyway, I digress. But yeah, she wasn't just a witch. This was she created the originals.
Mama
She's
Dukes.
a bad witch.
Yeah, Mom Dukes. She is. And so Davina lets him go because Davina wants to know how to control her power.
Yes.
She doesn't want to hurt people. I think Davina's a sweet girl.
She is. She's just so innocent and sweet.
She is. She's caught up in all of this. Yeah. And she doesn't want to hurt anybody. So she takes Elijah's offer. And so now Elijah is free. And I'm happy. Hey, boo.
Free at last. Yeah. Free at last.
He got his color back. He
got the suit.
The dagger out his heart.
Let me say, I like wet Elijah too. Wet Elijah in the pool? Yeah.
Come on. So Elijah shows up. Nobody knows that Elijah is free until he shows up in the middle of Klaus and Marcel's fight. And he hits Marcel with the 1-2.
Yeah.
And Klaus is standing there stunned. Because he didn't know Elijah was back. What I did notice is that Klaus does like this hard gulp when he sees Elijah.
Yeah, because he daggered him. That was their last conversation. You're weak, brother. As he turned all veiny. So that's why the big gulp. Because number one, he knew he was pissed. And that's why the whole episode he was trying to earn his forgiveness. That's why he brought him that girl laid on the coffee table.
Yeah.
As a peace offering.
Right.
But he was still full of Davina blood, so he was good.
I think that, yeah, he knew that Elijah was going to be pissed, but it also gave the impression that Klaus might be a little bit scared of Elijah.
I wouldn't say he would be a little bit scared of Elijah, because I don't think he fear him. I don't think that, because they can't be killed. But what I can say is he didn't know which Elijah was showing up. He didn't know if it was Elijah, my brother's keeper Elijah, or Elijah behind the red door Elijah. But y'all we gotta stay tuned.
I can't wait till we get to the red door episode.
See, that's who I want. Red door Elijah. That's all I'm saying.
I know you do.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So that's what I think it was. That's why the big gulp, because there's got to be something in their past, because he's done some stuff to him that I don't think he necessarily was afraid, but he just don't know, like, was this the last straw? Did I take it too far? Like,
I mean, daggering your siblings is always taking it too far. Especially last time Rebecca was daggered, that baby was out for 52 damn years. Like, he don't dagger them and let
She thought it was like later on in the week. She's like, "What day is it? Is it Sunday?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yes, my love, it's Sunday."
Yeah, she thought she thought she had been daggered for a week. That she had missed a week, and he had daggered her for 52 years.
But when you're immortal, I mean, what's
before
52 years?
She was daggered, the love of her life was human.
Yeah.
And then after she wakes up from the dagger, the love of her life is a vampire. And well into it, he has no qualms that she was daggered and out of his life. I understand why Rebecca hates Klaus.
I get it, but I understand why Klaus did it because Rebecca is so. See, the thing about Rebecca is that I think is that
So
she's.
you're about to get into episode 6.
No, I'm
All right,
not. I'm
okay,
not. I'm not
okay.
about to get into episode 6, but she's fickle. And what I mean by fickle is that she lives her life on whims. So what's good for her today might not be good for her tomorrow. But she tends to make lifelong decisions on temporary feelings.
She does.
So because of that, he was like, you got eternity. Like right now, if she don't make the best decision, we'll get there and you'll see why. Because like he be trying to tell her, yeah, you so in love with Marcel today, whatever. But man, your life is gonna be endless, and eventually you'll probably get bored. I don't know, but she don't make the best decision. So I get why she don't like him. But then I sometimes look at she do stuff that make you be like, that's why Klaus be doing you like that.
Oh yeah, no, there are definitely times when Rebecca does
But that was
stuff,
wrong though.
and I understand why Klaus be handling her the way that he does. But the hatred that I feel like Rebecca has for Klaus is very, I mean, it's right there at the surface. Like she loves him, but
It's
every
barely.
time he does something, she is on his neck, period.
Yeah.
But Elijah, oh brother,
and she always fussing at
Elijah,
him like, well, you let him take our brother, you let him do that, and he's like, why are you going off? I've already
right.
done. And she was like, oh, it's like her first thing is to lay into him.
And the only thing I've ever seen her yell at Elijah about is his loyalty to Klaus.
Yeah, she's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if she's weird. I just think she got a favorite brother. And hell, there's still 2 more of them that we haven't even hit the scene yet. And they still don't compare to Elijah. Nobody for Rebecca, for me.
She loves Elijah.
She loves Elijah the best.
She told him
the best, the most, whatever.
Leave, yeah, because that's the only reason why she came back, which why I thought that's why one of the reasons why he daggered him. He also wanted to give him to Marcel because he knew he was trying to gain his trust. But I also think he knew in the back of his mind, if Elijah goes missing, that's going to automatically bring her back. Because he knew if he asked her to come back, she wasn't coming back.
If Rebecca Klaus asked Rebecca,
yeah, Rebecca don't do nothing. Klaus say only reason she went along this far is because all she wanted was Elijah.
That's it.
I'm gonna go whatever plan you say till I get my brother back.
Right. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. And now that Elijah's back, she's ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I am going to be in agreement with what's coming up next.
What you think coming up next? What you think you're gonna be disagreeing about?
Well, I don't remember if Sophie survives all of this. I need her not to survive any of this. Like Sophie can be one of those casualties that Klaus is always talking about.
Casualties of war.
Yeah.
I don't remember either. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I mean, I just don't know because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't like how she linked herself to Haley, and like Haley told now, Haley was boss. Cause she didn't even know. But once she understood the totality, like you didn't care about me, because she brought her under the pretenses of, hey, you're carrying Nick Klaus' baby. Nick Klaus has enemies. It's something new. We need to protect you. But the whole time, but the whole time she didn't care. She don't care about Haley.
No,
she don't care about her baby.
No,
she care about fixing her mistake.
Right. And
in her mind.
Right. And Sophie's mistake was she thought the harvest wasn't real.
Yes.
So she tried to stop it. And that's how Davina was able to escape.
She went to the father of the priest, I think. And that's how he got in it.
Correct. So, and because Sophie tried to stop the harvest, there was a lot of confusion. Then Marcel and the vampires show up. This is how Davina is able to escape.
She gave the vampires exactly what they needed.
Exactly. Sophie now sees that the harvest is real. She sees that during the actual harvest that the harvest is real. So now her only focus is basically killing Davina so that her sister and the other girls can come back.
To life.
Right. Yes.
Because she promised her sister. That's her niece.
Right.
Because Agnes snuck up behind her niece and slit her niece's throat.
And slit her throat.
Which Agnes still, and then she told, please don't kill Agnes, bruh. Okay, anyway, I digress on
I
that.
don't know why she didn't.
But
I think that was probably an ulterior motive thing. I think if Sophie would have got her hands on Agnes, well, no, because she knows that the harvest is real.
yeah,
So she knows that Agnes was doing
what she was
what
supposed
she
to
was
do.
supposed to
And
do,
remember, her
and the girls were
sister
going to come
gave
back.
her life. She gave her life to cast the
Jean
spell,
Ann.
Jean Ann, to bring Klaus back to New Orleans.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's all coming full circle. So I understand her reasoning behind it, but I don't like it. But I can't say I don't like it. I don't, but she's actually doing what Klaus would do. She's doing whatever she can to fix her family. And that's what Klaus is. So that's what makes the dynamic, but I mean, Klaus is a lot of things. I don't know if he's killed kids before. I don't know.
I don't think Klaus.
I've seen a lot of stuff.
Yes.
I mean, he do a lot of killing, and he'll kill you. I'm not even gonna say, because Elijah do got some honor. I'm not gonna say Klaus has any honor.
I
But
think Klaus does have.
he got some honor.
Yeah,
he's
I don't give
not.
him that.
Yeah, he ain't like a vampire. He's not about to,
I think like Elijah,
horrible.
I don't think he would have drank from Davina.
No.
No.
I don't know yet though, because we hadn't watched it in a long time.
Unless it suited his fancy, unless it benefited him somehow.
Yeah, he might drink from
just to be thirsty. Nah, I don't think he would have. Nah. So yeah, he does have some honor because Davina's a child.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he never even actually hurt her. He brought the little boy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Gave her a little alone time with Tim.
When she broke his legs, Klaus was like, ah! But then he healed right then. Like, dude, she broke his legs and he stood right back up.
And he was like, I'm used to this. I'm a wolf. My legs been broke before.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing.
Yeah, the first time it hurt.
Oh, that first time.
Well, he was called Elijah.
Yeah, that first time was very horrible.
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
Klaus's legs breaking.
Everything was breaking on him. But
so episode 6, the poison tree episode. Deep sigh.
Yeah, so this is the episode that made me realize why I was a little bit upset at Rebecca.
This is the episode that made me realize why Rebecca is a problem. This is the episode where I thought Elijah really is in love with Haley.
Yes, you saw their connection.
Everybody saw their connection. Rebecca saw their connection. And I think that's another reason why Rebecca decides that she wants to leave New Orleans.
Yeah, because that's all she really wants sometimes. She's still in this young whimsical teenage year stage, which I don't know how old she was when she got turned. So that's what we don't know.
That would be really good to know how old they were when they became vampires.
Yeah,
because that means you're stuck at that age, right?
Your brain is stuck at that development, but living thousands of years, she still should know some things. But I think that's where she, that's why her mind is still like in that era of trying to find somebody. And it bothers Klaus, but not because of what we think. It don't bother Klaus because he's jealous, or it don't bother Klaus because he wants Haley's love and affection. If you remember in the first episode or first couple episodes, he said, you've only known my brother a few moments, yet you miss him.
Correct.
And she don't feel the same way about, and so he was asking in so many words, what is it about? And he asked her, what is it about Elijah? What is it about my brother?
Yeah, that invokes those type of feelings.
Yeah. And she said, because he's the only one he was nice to me.
He was nice to me.
And honorable. And so
that's such a small thing though. So that to me should have made Klaus go somewhere and sit in a corner and think about his actions. The reason why her loyalty to Elijah is because he was nice to her. Like, that's a very simple thing. Kindness is not hard. That means that Klaus was never kind to her. They have a history. She's pregnant.
He was never kind to her.
Yeah, that's
the sweetest he was to her was when they made that baby. And he wasn't even sweet when that came along. But the reason why you don't see that is because that actually happened in the Vampire Diaries. Yeah. But yeah, he was like, yeah. She don't even know why it's Klaus. I mean, But so that's his whole thing. But see, in his mind, he don't think he's lovable. So that's why he asks, like,
And he doesn't think that he's lovable because of his despicable ass parents, both of them. I blame his parents.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been saying that this whole time. his mom with her dabbling in dark arts, had she not been dabbling.
And rolling around with the pack. Hey.
Correct. So you dabbling in dark arts, you sleeping with werewolves, you can turn your children into vampires. Like somebody killed this hoe.
It's just hard for me to believe as a witch she didn't know she was sleeping with a werewolf. Like
She had to know. And then you got pregnant. She knows how her husband is. You're pregnant by a werewolf, and you know this. What she thought Michael was gonna do?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't think that he was gonna compel them to turn them into vampires. But still, she knew something was gonna happen. Did she not? She thought the secret was gonna go with her to the grave. It's a werewolf.
Yeah, but I don't know if she knew the whole history. And if she didn't know it was a werewolf, I don't know, maybe she didn't know he had to do the first kill.
Witches and werewolves been around for so long.
I don't know. We gotta watch it. We gotta see. I don't know. She knew. But she knew.
Yeah.
And I think he knew all along too that something was different about Klaus. I think everybody knew except Klaus.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Klaus felt like he felt different. Like he always felt like the black sheep, but he never knew why. He never knew why he didn't get the same attention and everything as Elijah did. But I mean, she had a lot of kids. It was like
she did. Have
it was like 6 kids. So maybe he was like, I don't know why I'm a. Yeah. But after everything, now looking back, he's like, oh, that's why I always felt like an outsider because I will. And you hear a lot of kids that say that. Kids that are in well, I ain't gonna say a lot of kids, but from my experience of people who find out later on in life, you know, they be like, I always felt a little different, or I always felt.
So some of his pain, I believe, is self-inflicted.
It is definitely self-inflicted. He's never dealt with it.
Correct. He think folks don't love him when they do.
No, and that's why he always paranoid because he thinks everybody's plotting against him because he don't trust nobody.
Correct.
Because the people he was supposed to trust betrayed him.
Right. And the people that he loves, when they do something, of course, contrary to what he thinks, then that also becomes a problem for him.
It does.
He saw Marcel as being his, but Marcel growing up and then falling in love with Rebecca, that was a problem for him.
It was. It's the narcissist in him. He's narcissistic.
He is.
Sad part is I'm attracted to narcissists. I know it, but that's probably why I like Klaus.
It is,
but yeah. But and that's what makes narcissists so dangerous because they prey on the compassions of other people. So you know, I mean, Klaus, and that's what he does. He preys on the compassion of Elijah. He knows the guilt that Elijah feels, and he milks it to the best of his ability.
And as much as I love Elijah, you heard me say Elijah should feel guilty.
Yeah.
That was his. I mean, you know, if we're siblings and we come from the same parents, to our knowledge, and one of those parents is trying to hurt you as your sibling, because who's to say it won't be me next? Parents is not supposed to try to hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? Not supposed to hurt their kids. So if it's you today, it could be me tomorrow. And so Elijah should have helped him.
Yeah. But not to mention, I mean, their parents was, I mean, it's in a heart. It's just, he should have.
He should have. Dang. And now he's got a lifetime of trying to make up for it.
Oh, I can't wait till their mama come back. I don't like her either, but I digress.
I mean, yeah, I think we don't like their mom because she's a witch. I mean, she's a bunch of other things, but like we both said, we discovered watching these episodes that we don't like witches. So maybe that's why we don't like their mom. Maybe that's why I don't like Freya.
Yeah, I don't like Freya either.
Correct.
She coming later. We'll discuss her. So yeah, watching the second time around, I'm like, I never realized how much all of this started with the witches. Like it was it's them.
It's not only did it start with the witches, but it started with Sophie. She's the center of all of this. They should just take Sophie's ass out. She's the reason for all of this. She's the reason why the witches even get banned. She starts all of this.
Yeah, she does. All because, you know, she didn't believe in
And she actually thought her sister would kill her own daughter. She actually believed that about her sister. Damn, poor Jean Ann. What does that say about her
That's
character?
what Jean Ann said. She's like, you really think that I would kill my daughter?
Right.
But
and Sophie really thought that.
Yeah, but see,
so y'all not close?
No, it's not that
they're
not close. It's just that Sophie's like, you're being brainwashed by Agnes and the elders, because she didn't believe that it in the harvest itself.
Right.
Because it was a myth, which, I mean, if the community had educated your members on your history, then I don't know. But that's why she thought it was a myth. Because mind you, she said it's a myth. Nobody knows it. So she thought her sister was being misguided or misled. Same thing you would do if you think your sister was in a cult. When dudes like, drink the Kool-Aid. Like, no, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to wake up in no magical place.
Sophie didn't believe any of it.
No, she didn't believe any of it. So at that point, you'd be like, but I'm thinking, but you ain't never seen magic work? Because they clearly be doing spells around here.
Correct.
And why she ain't got no power?
Hell, because they needed to do the harvest.
But she a witch. You can't do this. You can do something. Didn't she do the locator spell?
She did.
Exactly. So you know something. You know it kind of works.
Right.
But I guess she didn't believe the whole history of how they got the power, that part of it.
I think Sophie just has her own interpretation of the situation, and she's trying to handle it and or fix it, and she's doing a horrible job. When Agnes takes Haley to the bayou to go see a doctor, first of all, let's rewind back to when Agnes comes to the house to talk to Haley about going to see a doctor. And Haley's like, nah, I'm cool on the doctor. And Rebecca makes the comment, for somebody who gets to have kids, you sure, you know what I'm saying, taking this very like nonchalantly. She says something to that effect. So what I interpreted from that is Rebecca, being the drama queen that she is, she's upset that she's a vampire, and she doesn't get to experience that human thing that humans do. But I mean, animals have babies. Why can't vampires have babies? I don't know the answer to that. I thought maybe you might. Like, vampires can't reproduce?
No.
Because they're dead?
Yes. Well, for the males.
In Twilight, don't Buddy get the other chick pregnant?
Because she's human. But typically, vampires, well, in that story, vampires didn't fraternize with humans because they couldn't, technically. In that story, I'm not going to the gist of it, but they didn't mess with humans because humans were strictly food. There was no commingling. There was no, you bite them, they die or they turn. There was no feed from them and compel them and they go about their way. There were a different set of vampires. So that's the reason why that whole fiasco was able to happen in the first place.
Okay.
Because vampires didn't sleep with humans. However, in this instance, of the stories of vampires, they can sleep with humans because they can drink from humans and don't have to kill them and can compel them. So the whole reason why vampires can't get pregnant is because vampires don't change. You die at the age that you are, so your body doesn't technically grow anymore. That's why if a child,
she ain't in there producing no eggs,
right?
She not getting no cycle. Sorry, y'all. Okay.
She's not getting no cycle.
Well, she was definitely pissed that Haley was not,
and her body couldn't grow and change.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because she was not liking that Haley was not trying to go to the hospital and take care of herself and take care of the baby. So that makes sense. It's something that she won't ever be able to experience, and clearly she would like to.
And it's supposed to be, in some books, male vampires are sterile, so that's why supposedly they're not able to have children with human people because they do sleep with them,
right?
But they just never get pregnant because they're sterile.
Got you.
Okay. Because their sperm, supposed to not be able to work. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
So in some stories they can produce children.
So Agnes takes Haley to the doctor with one intent, which is to kill Haley's baby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Demon child is what she said.
Yeah,
because of vision.
She did call that baby a demon child, which we know she's not, but she ain't. She is something She is something.
She is something for sure.
Yeah. I like how Haley handled herself though.
Yeah.
Yeah. The nurse was, well, maybe she was or was not a nurse. I don't know. She probably was another
Allegedly.
witch. She was probably another witch getting ready to stick Haley with the syringe in her neck, and Haley headbutted that ass. Yeah, Haley was an OG.
She was.
Yeah, and is.
Yeah.
Even in episodes to come, I am a Haley fan.
Yeah, I am Team Haley. That's gonna come back. I can't wait to
till we get a little bit further down the line.
Yeah, but I do like revisiting these episodes because it makes me realize, hey, this is why I love this series.
Correct. And we now know that they know that this is not a war about territory. This is a war
over power,
over family, over Davina. It has nothing to do with the city of New Orleans. It has everything to do with the witches trying to gain power.
Because everybody want to be on top. The vampires want to rule. The witches want to rule. The werewolves want. It's like 3 factions of supernatural beings that they put up with each other.
Right.
They tolerate each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's about to go down because Elijah, Rebecca. Well, we'll exclude Rebecca. She's
about to come back though.
She wants to go away. She wants to go away so much that she goes to say goodbye to Marcel.
Let's be real. She didn't go to say goodbye. She went to get something to hit the road.
She went to go get hit so she could hit the road.
Yes. Yes. She wanted some of that Marcel juice.
And in her afterglow, she pretends to be hungry because Marcel begins to talk about something that she doesn't really want to touch on.
Because he's trying to get her to talk because he knows her.
Correct.
That pillow talk.
She gives him an apple, thinking that it's going to distract him. And all it does is tell him exactly where the Michelsons are.
And she threw a monkey wrench. That is why Klaus acted the way he acted. Because he's like, you get beside yourself.
Right. She should have known that apple was going to bring back and trigger memories for him. The apple came from the plantation where he was a damn slave. Like, really, Rebecca?
See, she don't think because she don't think.
And now he's showed up to the plantation.
And now Haley's missing.
Sees that they're there. And now Haley is missing. And the vampires in Marcel's camp that Klaus is compelled
are being revealed.
Correct, because they at Klaus's house and Marcel there, and he didn't see them.
He don't peep seen.
All because
she should have just left town and called. Because she don't, man.
She doesn't think.
She doesn't think, and that's what Nick be talking about. You are a danger to us all.
Correct.
She would be the one that get them
killed if they could get killed. Yes, she would. That's why he should probably continue to dagger ass. I don't like it when he do it, but when she does shit like that without thinking, clearly you weren't thinking.
Still wasn't, because she was on the road living it up.
Yeah, she done gave him the apple and told him to take a bite and left, and still ain't thought about, damn, I handed him an apple from the plantation, so he's gonna wonder why was I out there at the plantation? How did I get this apple? Of course he's gonna go check it out. It's Marcel.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't even like apples because of that. He even brought it up.
Yeah, she gave him an apple knowing that she probably knew that too. Now that you say it, she probably knew Marcel didn't want no damn apple.
I don't know if she knew, because then that means she wanted him to go find Klaus and put a monkey.
No, I'm just saying she knew, but she's not thinking about it in that moment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even as she's driving off, it still doesn't come back to her. Like, dang, I shouldn't have gave him that apple. She still don't connect the dots.
No, and that was her panicking because he was like, he trying to throw up. Y'all was at the Royale, and she's like,
yeah. And she panicked and gave him the apple, and now here we are.
Trying to distract him.
About to go into episode 7.
And we don't know where Haley is.
With the missing Haley. I tell you what, though, Elijah gonna find
Rebecca.
her. Oh, yeah. Right. Thanks, Rebecca. That's all right, though. We get to see Elijah act up. I know he finna act up. Haley's missing. His boo missing.
His boo?
He finna act up. Klaus gonna act up, too, just because, hell.
That's Klaus. Ooh, yeah, I love to see Klaus act up.
He wanna act up.
He act up. Hey.
So that means you guys have to come back and join us next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
as we review episodes 7, 8, and 9
Yes.
of the originals. What they supposed to do, what the people supposed to do, rate, review.
Subscribe, rate, and review.
Yes, subscribe, rate, and review. You know, I never remember.
And if you're on
that.
Spotify, I got a poll posted. I'm curious to know if you guys are Team Klaus, Team Elijah, Team Haley,
That's what's up.
or Team Rebecca, or
Hey,
Team Marcel.
Go and vote. Let us know. Love y'all.
Peace.
What's up, y'all? This is Azra, and you are listening to A&T Friendship Diaries. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you as always for listening in.